This is the Transformers Generations Studio Series 86, figure number 22 from the movie Transformers the Movie. We have Deluxe Class Brawn, an updated Generations Brawn figure. I picked up this figure from Robo, and here is Legacy Evolution Brawn out of the box. And I did have a lot of expectations for this figure, and sadly, some of them were not met. There are a few key issues with this figure that didn't quite sit well with me, but nevertheless, the figure's not bad. It sports a very G1 aesthetic, G1 look, an updated Generations figure that has a lot of articulation, quite involved transformation. Pretty happy with it, but not completely happy, and I'll tell you why as we go on with the review. The figure comes with this really interesting diorama. It is, I think, the scene where the Decepticons board the Autobot ship, where sadly Brawn meets his untimely demise. Head to toe, the figure stands at about 12 centimeters tall, or about 4 5/8 inches tall. For comparisons, here he is with his shipmates, Ironhide and Prowl, who will also meet their demise on board the Autobot ship. And here he is with a couple of Deluxe Class mini-bots. We've got Bumblebee and Beachcomber. The figure comes with one blaster pistol. You can hold it on either hand, and you can store it right here. Now, as far as articulation goes, the neck is on a swivel. It is unusually tight, very difficult to twist and turn without really pulling down the chest, so you can have enough room for your fingers to swivel that neck. The shoulders are on ball joints. Got a bicep swivel, hinge elbows. Wrists can go in and out because of transformation. It's got a waist swivel. Hips are on swivels. You got hinges right here that allow you to do the splits. You go forward, backward, but you know, it's being hindered by the back kibble. You got a thigh swivel, hinge knees. The toes can articulate down because of transformation, and he's got the rocker tilt. The sculpt of the feet, not as G1 accurate. It feels like they borrowed some engineering from the Siege Hound mold. So yeah, I would have wished they could have prepared or molded a bigger foot, but it would leave very little room for the transformation. So that was the constraint. Also, the backpack. It's okay. It folds up very nicely, although I wish this panel right here, could have folded inward instead of outward. They specifically molded it so that there's like some plastic molded right here to prevent you from actually folding the piece inward. That would have been a really nice touch. This one just folded inside instead of folded upward. That would have closed the gap right there. But you know, as far as paint apps go, very nice. The paint on the chest kind of matches the tangerine orange plastic that they used for the other pieces. The silver on his arms. Very, very nice metallic silver, very G1 accurate. I love the army green plastic color that they used instead of the dark green, which is, I think, more accurate with the toy. So this is a lot more cartoon accurate than toy accurate, which I like. I do prefer cartoon accuracy over toy accuracy. Now, speaking of toy accuracy, let's bring in the predecessor. This is the Titans Return Legends Class Brawn, and you can clearly see how much superior this thing is over the previous Legends Class figure. I mean, take nothing away from this figure. This was an amazing figure back in the day, but now if you want an updated version, something that scales better with the other Generations figures, the Legacy, I think, is the new Generations figure for Brawn. And this one, sadly, I'll have to purge this out of my collection. Now, as far as plastic quality goes, there's no complaints from me. I think every inch of this figure has premium, solid plastic. Spot on. Well done to the designers. Okay, now to transform him into his alt mode, or his small mini SUV alt mode. I think that's where this figure suffers the most. And it's not about the engineering. The engineering's fine. It's really the execution of the engineering where they, I think, failed to measure clearances here and there, tolerances here and there, and the tightness of some of the joints are really unnecessary. But again, I don't want to complain about tight joints because I'd rather have tight than loose joints. So, okay, you want to fold the fists inward like this. You're going to fold the backpack out like that, and this panel out like this. Fold down the chest, rotate that head sculpt, okay? And then the arms, here's one pet peeve of mine. There's a peg that's holding the shoulder this hinge joint right here, you have to move the hinge out. You have to just bend it out and then fold it down, okay? Same thing here, bend and fold. So when you fold it back into robot mode, it's really going to hit something and you have to move it out and peg it back in. Not a big fan of that kind of transformation because I know over time that thing's going to get brittle, it's going to get soft and weak and just going to be weak, and you could break that. But, you know, what can you do? Here's the next bit I didn't like. This sort of, I guess, neck piece or shoulder piece, you have to rotate it out 180 degrees like that to form the grille of the car. Now, to do so, you just go ahead and ram everything out like this. It's like you can literally hear the scraping, and it's just off by 1.5 millimeters. I mean, don't these engineers have rulers or micrometers or just some form of measurement? I mean, seriously, I know it's nitpicking. It's just very annoying because this thing is a Studio Series figure. So you would think that they would measure things properly, and then fold the shoulder assembly backwards like this. Fold them both like that. And here's another interesting bit. Go ahead and rotate the elbows or the biceps this way, and you've got 2 pegs right here. The shoulder pegs, that's not a problem. You can easily peg those in. Spoke too soon. Yeah, it's tight, but it's okay. This one is a peg of doom. It is real. Again, they could have measured this. It's off by 0.5 millimeter. They could have shaved off that peg. I don't want to shave it off because you'd ruin the paint apps, but it's tight as heck. Unnecessarily tight, and it kind of ruins the experience, the transformation for me. It's like you don't want to, even when you're trying to split them up, it takes great effort, and you can already see some scratching right there. Some of the silver has already been scraped off, and you can already see the green paint. So it's just off by 0.5 millimeter. Why couldn't they have measured that properly? Okay, don't want to sound like I'm whining or anything like that. It's just that it is annoying, considering it is a Studio Series figure. Then you want to rotate the waist piece, and then you want to fold the toes downward, unfold the inner legs, just like you would with Siege Hound. Okay, and then you want to fold the legs this way, and fold this one like that. And this is the unofficial base mode of Brawn. The instructions don't mention this, but you could actually turn into sort of like a mini base. And if you have some Micromasters, they can actually stay here with Brawn, and you could have sort of like a mini base going on right there. Okay, enough of that. On to the transformation. You want to go ahead and complete the transformation by folding the legs all the way here. And again, more clearance issues. Everything just needs to fit exactly, and somehow they didn't measure it properly as well. So you really have to find that sweet spot where everything just kind of nestles and fits in. It's a little too exact for me, but you know, this one's not half as bad as this one. So just close up everything, okay? And then finally, you want to fold this part right here, the backpack, and close over the arms. And then, as you can see, things are not tabbing in properly. You have to find the sweet spot. You have to find a way to sort of tab these tiny pegs right there onto the fists, which don't really stay. It's this one, it's a little too loose. So if the tabs are not too tight, they're too loose. So they don't really, they just stay right there on top of those pegs. And then the backpack will just have to close in, and you have to just put a little bit of effort just to keep that camper shell down, okay? And then finally, this back panel right here is going to fold, and then you're going to tab. See, again with the clearances. It's a tight fit, and you feel like over time, these bits right here, they're going to just shear off and break. So you just want to be very careful. Just have it like that. Unpainted rear windshield, but you know, it's okay. They put some paint here. Okay, and just wrapping things up, there is Brawn in his mini SUV alt mode, and it looks very, very nice. The biggest, I think, gripe I have with this alt mode is you can see right here, there are huge gaps on the sides, which I'm pretty sure a DNA design kit will, upgrade kit will just fill that in. But in the meantime, you know, you're left with, I mean, this is a Studio Series figure, in case I forgot to mention. And a panel should have been just molded right here to just close things up, but they didn't do that. The gun, you can put it on top like that. Pretty sure DNA is already working on a kit for this. And that would probably include a drill and more guns and a panel to close that up. You know, that kind of thing. But as it is, it's acceptable. It's not horrible. I mean, it is acceptable as an alt mode. It looks very G1, an updated Generations look, but you can't help but see these kind of things, and it's just a little annoying. Okay, so for size comparisons, let's bring in a couple of other deluxe class legacy figures. We have Skids right here, which seems to be, I think it's okay. On the show, I think he would be a tad bit smaller than Skids. And with Beachcomber, yeah, Beachcomber is just way too big in terms of scale for a mini bot. They should be almost the same scale and size, but yeah. I think he's in good scale, particularly with Skids. So as a mini bot, I think they got the scale right on this one. And then finally, here he is with the soon-to-be replaced Titans Return Legends Brawn, and you can clearly see the much improved version, just so G1 in all aspects compared to this one. This one's just a little too stylized, too military looking, but and so some final thoughts on the Studio Series 86 Brawn. Well, overall it's pretty good. I was disappointed a little bit with the improper measurement of the clearances. Some of the tabs were just too tight. Great engineering overall in terms of transformation. Just when it came to the execution, they kind of dropped the ball in measuring a few clearances here and there. But minor nitpicks. Overall, engineering was pretty good. Both modes, robot mode, alt mode, really evoke the G1 look and feel with a little bit of nostalgia. So I thought that was pretty great. This figure is going to get an 8.5 out of 10. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this new Transformers Generations Studio Series 86 Deluxe Class Brawn. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.